guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you've never been here before, my name is Eva and this is my husband Chet, and we just make fun lifestyle Christian videos, so we're glad that you're here. It's kind of us.
Yeah. Well, today you guys are in for our best video yet, debatably. We'll see. But today we are answering your questions.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's hop into the first question.
Yeah.
The first question is this: who is the better chef? Who is the better cook?
Yeah. If I had to answer, and Chet would probably say the same, it's him. He's a very good cook, and that honestly surprised me. That's another question we'll get to later, but yes, Chet is a very good cook. He makes some really good chili, as you can see. He a lot of time does our meat, and I just do the veggies. So yeah, we'll see if I someday become the better cook, but yeah, he's the better cook.
And you just heard Eva say she just does the veggies, but she does way more than just the veggies. The veggies are my favorite part of the meal most of the time because Eva cooks them so well. I love veggies.
Thanks, honey. So the second question that you guys asked us is, what is the hardest and also the best part about marriage? So it's kind of funny because when we were talking through these questions, we pretty much had the same answer for both. So with the hardest part, it's definitely dying to self. I feel like in dating it was way easier to like serve the other person because you're just not with them all the time, so you already get time like alone, and like you don't have to be thinking about serving that other person 24/7. But when you're married, that's completely changed. Obviously scripture talks about that a lot too, but it's a lot of learning servant leadership, what it looks like to do that. And then I would also say forgiveness being a huge part of that, forgiving constantly over and over, and then also not becoming easily offended. Like, full transparency, that is definitely something that we have to work on, for sure, that we've been working on from day one. It's just not being easily offended with what the other person is saying. And then the best part about marriage is that, like, we're best friends. So we just get to do life together and then, like, actually pursue the callings that God has given us together. And just pursue the Lord and run our own races, but alongside each other and together. So that's just like so beautiful. That's the best part, hands down. So
the third thing that you guys asked us was, what are some good tips to stay in the Word daily? Yeah, so Eva and I talked about this one, and these aren't the best things, the perfect things.
Right.
These are just 3 things that we came up with. We're no experts, but these are 3 things that we came up with. And the first one is this, that it's a rhythm, not a routine. And they're kind of similar words, but what we're getting at is that a routine can become really cut and dry and like, all right, first I pray for 5 minutes, then I read 1 chapter of scripture, then I do this for a period of time. And that's like a routine. That's like, oh, this is the same thing over and over again. Where a rhythm, yes, it's repetitive, yes, it means doing something over and over again, but it's a little bit more loose. It's a little bit more allowing God to do what He wants to do with the time. And I think that that's what getting in the Word or having quiet time is all about. It's about having a relationship with Jesus and not just reading the Bible or getting in the Word to get in the Word. It's about, having a relationship with Jesus. And the second thing that we said for a tip to stay in the Word is asking God and being prayerful about God giving you a desire to be in the Word. And that's really important, and I think that that's something that we can miss the mark on, is asking God to fill us, because sometimes it can feel like, man, this is a little mundane. Like, what am I getting reading Genesis chapter 13 right now? Yeah, it can be a little bit mundane. Maybe you don't feel like something's coming out of it, but actually asking God to get rid of that in your heart and to give you just a desire to get to know Him and not make it about yourself, it is really huge. And that goes along with our third one, which is basically saying it's not about you. Going into a quiet time or going into a time to read the Word is not about what you can get out of it. It's not about your cup getting filled or anything about you, but it's about literally just worshiping Jesus. It's
Yeah.
about getting to know the Father, and it's just about spending time in His presence and with Him.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. It's not about us. It's not
Right.
about what we can get out of it, but it's
Yeah.
about Him.
Yeah. Something I would add to that is just that spiritual discipline, praying for a spiritual discipline to be
Yeah.
in His Word. And then what I would also say, like as Chet was reading those off, like we could make a whole nother video on just that and what it's like to be in the Word, because I feel like we go through tons of different seasons of life
Yeah.
with like pursuing Christ, and that's okay. Like sometimes you're not going to feel like it, like
Mhm.
at all. Probably most times you're not going to feel like it. But we have to get outside of that feeling part of it, right? And actually get along with the Father, even if we don't feel
Yeah.
like it.
Hmm. And I feel like that's kind of where faithfulness is built. It's built in
Yeah.
the mundane. It's built in when you're not feeling it.
For
It's
sure.
when it comes down to being faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the fourth question you guys asked us, which is a fun one, is what is your favorite memory of one another? So I'm gonna go first. I have a lot of favorite memories with Chet. Like I could list off a ton, but one that was like really early on in us dating was we went to this place called Door County. So it's a very tourist area in Wisconsin, and it became like a tradition in our relationship. We haven't gone in a while because now we have a dog, but basically we went up there and it was the first time we went together, and we just went to a bunch of little shops. We ate food together. We went to like this place to get, I think like hot chocolate and breakfast, and I have like a picture of Chet with like the hot chocolate, super mounted up, and he had like his face in it. Also, okay, this is hilarious. I forgot about this. He forgot his wallet. So like, this place is like what, 3 hours from where we live or something? It was like a whole day thing. And like, you know, the dude's normally gonna pay for most of the stuff. We get up there. It's when we get up there and are parked at the restaurant that he's like, oh my gosh, I forgot my wallet. So then I paid for everything the whole day, which was just so funny. And we went to like this shop, and we love cribbage, so I got him like this bear cribbage board because he loves bears. And so it was just this whole thing that I thought was hilarious, and I think you felt pretty bad, but that's my favorite memory. That was a super sweet trip. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's hilarious.
yeah,
Like Eva said, definitely have a ton of different favorite memories.
yeah,
But one specific one was, it was right before we started dating, but we were kind of like talking, and Eva was leading worship for an event that our church was doing for volunteers, and I just remember watching her lead worship and just worship Jesus, and it was really beautiful, and it was just really special. And it was like right then that I was like, I really like, I want to marry Eva. And like, I don't know, it was just a really special moment and a
yeah.
really good memory. But like we said, we have plenty of favorites. That's just one of them.
Yeah.
The fifth thing that you guys asked us was, are we moving? Eva, are we moving?
Well, no. Not right now, at least. Yeah, we really want to move, honestly, for a lot of different reasons, and we actually believe that God is definitely calling us to move. We just don't know when. We don't know where exactly yet. We kind of have an inkling, but that's what prayer is meant for, right? Like, it's not just meant for, this is what we think, so we're just going to go and do that, because that's what we want to do.
Mhm.
So we're definitely praying about it. We've been praying about it for a long time now. So definitely probably going to happen. We just don't know when. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question you guys asked us is one of my favorites, and it's talking about kids. Do you guys want kids? How many? When? Age gaps, names, all of the works. A few of you asked this. So the short answer is yes, we want kids. Lord willing. But if we were not to have kids, I do believe we'd be content with that. And I know a lot of people can't really say that, but we love spending time together, and we would be very content with each other, the Lord, and like our little doggies. So like that is something that we could definitely do. And like growing up, I always felt like I couldn't have kids, but I don't know. We'll see. But I definitely want kids. I definitely have that desire. Chet does as well. Mine's a little bit higher. I want like 4 or 5. Chet would probably want like 2 to 3. But again, we don't want to like put a timestamp on the Lord or say this is how many kids we're gonna have. We really want him to direct us in that. So we do not have a rush on it. Like, we're very content just us two right now. So it might be a few years, 5 years until we have kids. But yeah, we definitely want kids. As far as age gaps, again, whatever God has planned with that. And then as far as names, we talk about names all the time. So we do have some names that we love for boys and for girls. But I think when that time actually comes, like when we know we're having a baby and what gender, it'll be much more clear what names we're actually going to go with.
Yeah.
So,
But they're a secret right now, so
yeah,
I'm sorry for whoever asked that question, but like, it's big classified.
Right.
Sorry.
Right, sorry.
The 7th thing that you guys asked us was what surprised us most about one another. And I kind of thought about this one for a while because, you know, there were a couple of things surprised me about Eva, but the number one thing that surprised me about Eva, and I haven't even told her this yet.
Yeah, I'm nervous what he's gonna say.
It's how much clothes she has.
Oh my
God. Dude, like, I take up like this little corner in our closet, and then Eva is like, rack.
Yeah.
So much clothes. I mean, she wears it all, so I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But she just had a ton of clothes, and I was like, oh, so that's what the closet's gonna be like. But I'm also a dude, so I have like 6 shirts that I rotate through, and I mean, like, yeah.
To be fair, Chet has a decent amount of clothes too. We are fashion people. Like, that's something that we love, and we really like shoes. So I'm surprised you didn't say like clothes and shoes.
Oh yeah, the shoes is outrageous though.
It is pretty bad, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I love shoes. I'm like a shoe person. So that's really funny and very true. I should probably, I mean, I get rid of my clothes pretty often, but it's just kind of sickening how much clothes I have to get rid of, and then like when I ask for new clothes. Okay, anyways, what surprised me about Chet? So we talked a little bit about the cooking. It honestly did surprise me, but that wasn't my answer to this question. Chet is someone that like, so growing up I was pretty OCD about things, like legitimately. And things being a certain way in my room, like my bed being perfect, like things being cleaned. I was kind of like a cleanaholic, you might call me. And when I met Chet and we were dating, you don't really see that side of that person, you know? And his room was not really super tidy when I would come over. So anyways, like, or like the basement space that we would be in, like, he just kind of, you know, chilled there. It's not like he was like cleaning it all the time. Well, when we got married, guys, I started to realize that he's someone that's very orderly and clean and likes things like in a particular way, and it's just super funny because even if he's not the person that's like cleaning it or taking care of it, like he wants it a certain way. So it's just really interesting.
Let's just say the dishwasher gets organized.
Yeah, so like Chet does the dishes in our house and I do the laundry. It's just kind of our thing. That's just our rhythm. And like if I do the dishes to be nice for him, he'll go like after me and switch where I put stuff because he likes it a certain way. It's just
It just
really
makes
fun.
it super easy to put it away. It's like, grab the bowls.
Right. So that's something about Chet that's just a little funny, but I still love. So. Okay, guys, we're almost to the end. Another question I was asked is, how do you see Jesus in your spouse? Through what actions or qualities? So for me, 2 things that I put down. And the biggest being Chet's encouragement. So there's a lot of the times where I can be really hard on myself, or I'm a little anxious sometimes, or I'm a ball of stress, or you know, sometimes your girl just has to cry and is crying and not doing very well. And Chet does such an incredible job of like comforting me in that place, but then actually encouraging me with scripture, but then also just with him being my husband and encouraging me with kind and uplifting words, right? And I feel like sometimes that can come across as like someone almost speaking down to you, and he just does it in such a good way that's encouraging. So that's super sweet. And then his servant leadership. So there's a lot of ways that Chet serves me that, you know, probably wouldn't be like his first choice. So for example, like the dishes or like taking our dog out. He does that a ton, and right now it's like freezing outside. I hate the cold, and like He does it out of the kindness of his heart, I would hope, and takes our little Selah out to like use the bathroom all the time, which is just so kind. And then I ask for back rubs a lot, probably way too much. And a lot of the times he gives in and says yes. So I'm just really thankful for the little things like that. And I know that some of those are silly, but there's actual like serious ones as well where he steps up and he is a servant leader. So I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
What are yours, Chet?
Yeah, I'd say one of the big ones for Eva is her wisdom. Eva is wise beyond her years, and she just gives great advice. And I really appreciate that about her, but I also see Christ in her that way, through the advice that she gives and her wise counsel.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah, you're welcome. But another way that I see it is in the way that she loves and her forgiveness, and how she is quick to forgive and doesn't hold grudges, but she is ready to forgive. Yeah, I really like that. The 9th thing that you guys asked us is this: what were the biggest blessings and challenges of our engagement season?
Yeah, so we're going to go pretty quickly through this one because there were a lot of things. Again, this could be its whole own video probably. But the challenges, some of them were people's opinions. Everyone always has an opinion. The length, we also wrote that down as a blessing. But then waiting for the day, waiting for that special day to come, and then having to figure out like a ton of logistics together with just housing, bills, how that's all going to work. So there were definitely a lot of things that factored into some of the challenges in that time.
Yeah, and a quick list of some of the huge blessings were the length.
Right.
We enjoyed having that short engagement season and just getting to be really excited for that day, and it wasn't like so far off that we couldn't even like imagine it, but it was really close and we were super excited for it.
Yeah.
Another thing was the Lord's provision and how He provided in different ways financially, giving us adequate time, just with the right people, giving us the right encouragement, or just helping us out in a number of different ways. The Lord really provided for us in our engagement season, but also getting to plan it together. Eva did probably a little bit more of the planning, but we still had to plan it together, and it was a lot of fun to do that, and we both had to say that way when we got to the day, it wasn't like, oh, so this is the stuff Eva's been working on. Like it was like this special thing that we got to put together ourselves and as a unit. But then I'd also say getting to pray over it and getting to pray over that day and just put the focus on where it was meant to be. And it wasn't about me and Eva, it wasn't about our families, but it was solely about Christ and making a commitment to Him and to one another, and we really, we really got to do that in our engagement season, so that was really huge. The last question, probably the hardest one to answer, so just get ready, but it's this: what is your favorite restaurant? That's what you guys asked, and you know, we probably talked about this one for over an hour just to try and figure out. I mean, where do we want to go? Like McDonald's, Applebee's, Burger King. Like, there's so many options. And I mean, Eva, what is it? What is our favorite restaurant?
Yeah. It is, in fact, the very good, sweet place of Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Like, that's our go-to. It really is. Like, we actually like fine dining too, which is just funny, but like we don't really like anything in between. Like if we go out to eat, like we're probably going to Chick-fil-A, but then if we're going on a cute date night, we go to like fine dining, which around here is like, I don't really know if it's really fine dining, but we have this place called Fratello's, this place called Rye next to us that we love. So we go on dates there a lot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Hey guys, that was our last question. That's all we have time to answer in this video. But if you're wondering where we got those questions from, we actually posted something on our Instagram story where people could fill out questions that they have. So if you guys want to take a second, if you go on our YouTube profile, you can find our Instagram there, but it's also going to be in the description. So you guys should just take a look there. Maybe drop a follow, see what you like. But we also do reels, we do other stuff on there. So yeah, you should just follow the Instagram. But otherwise, if you liked the video, if you liked what you saw, you should drop a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you can even put in the comments more questions that you guys have. You can put video recommendations, things you guys would like to see. But other than that, that's all we have for you guys today.
Yeah, thank you guys. We love you guys. We're just so thankful for this, and Jesus loves you too. Have a great day.
Eva, how would you say that? Let's start that over.
Okay.
The 9th thing that you guys asked us. The 9th thing that you guys asked us is this. Stop.